Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. Swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the size, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nickies. Yeah. OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recaps, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the stack. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on the channel. I'm covering the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and this one is going to be great, guys, because we got Bitcoin right now just above 109 by $1, guys. It's going to be a good day. I'm going to be watching this triangle here, and it does look like we've officially broken out of it. So that is really good, because last time we did this, last summer, right, it did take until August, September if we broke out of it. But once we did, we never got back into it, guys. We'll be showing that later. We got so much to go over, guys. There is a company, a capital company that has dropped $100 million into the Bitcoin ecosystem, but they're not building for ordinals runes. They're actually building capital markets. We're going to talk about that, guys. We have actually a lot to talk about. There's people who are going to say, are saying Ethereum is going to hit 6.5K this year. What does that do for your alt bags? What does that do for your rune bags, right? I think that is go time, guys. You're running out of time. You're running out of time right now to get in stuff really cheap. I don't think we'll ever see the prices we saw last month. So don't be hoping for a pullback. That's just my opinion. But I don't think if you're hoping for a pullback at this point, everything's super cheap. Worrying about getting in now and getting in last month, I think is stupid. I mean, stuff is up, right? You see dog up, you see some other stuff up as well. But to me, so cheap, guys. So cheap. Really exciting. We're getting into all that as well. We got the guys from Sats Terminal joining us in about 1 hour. Really excited for those guys. I mean, they're really pushing runes forward, and Alkanes now. And they actually have an update today. They're going to be dropping. So really excited for that. So without further ado, me bringing my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's going on, man? How you feeling today, bro?
I'm feeling pretty good. Obviously Bitcoin had a strong morning. We got all the way up to 109, around 800, right? So that was a really strong push up. It seems like the momentum's starting to coil back up right now again. So, some of these larger time frames, they're looking pretty solid. And so, even if we do get a little bit of a pullback, because the pull up was kind of a little bit overnight, I want to say like late morning, and then led into like the bell, right? And so it's been a little back and forth since then. So this little bit of choppiness with the downside doesn't worry me at all. I think we might have a really good second half of today in the evening. So I'm excited about that. And then, you know, the headlines there that you just talked about. Look, we cover the Bitcoin ecosystem. We've been covering it since 2023, but I think that you know, the ecosystem is about to expand to just a little bit more than just degeneracy, right? Which is fun. We always love that. Those are our people. But we also have to think that, you know, there's going to be some big money possibly moving. Well, it's already started to move over, and that's going to be a part of the ecosystem too. We got to pay attention to that because that's going to be opportunity as well. So I'm excited to get into that for the show today.
Yeah, man, 100%. Real quick, some housekeeping. Obviously, we have a new screen here. We'd love to get your opinion, your guys' opinion on it. We did hear the streams that we look like a NASCAR, and it didn't look right. So we went to a more modern look. If you go to channels like Crypto Banter, you go to channels like Discover Crypto, the bigger channels in the space, you see very similar to what we have here. We went with that. We'd love to get your guys' opinion on it. Should we go back to the old way? Should we stick with this way? Just let us know. We'd love to get your opinion. Like, at the end of the day, this is your show too. You guys watch it every single day. I really appreciate that. But let's jump right into some of the topics, the leading topic actually. Ethereum to 6.5K. Q2 report, crypto rebounds 3.3 trillion and $100 million Bitcoin startup boost. We're going to get into the first one here, which is ETH 6.5K. So James Harris, the CEO of yield generation firm Tesseract. So Tesseract is an Infinity Stone from Marvel. So it's funny that he named.
I like that name.
That it's actually really cool. He has Ethereum pegged for about 160% surge this year, landing around 6,500 by the year end 2025 from a roughly 2,570. Right. As supporting catalyst, he points to over 1 billion in spot Ethereum ETF inflows during June, and the recent Petra hard fork, which he says has supercharged layer 2 scaling and ecosystem growth. And that's kind of why Robinhood is able to do their thing now, right? This apparently the Petra upgrade was a huge reason why they chose now to kind of go live with their chain here and start building it because of this. So we'll get your opinion on this, man. But 6,500 by the end of the year, I mean, I think that's fair.
I think that's fair. I think it's fair, and I think that this adds to the other headlines that Ethereum has been in. Whether you're talking about Tom Lee or you're talking about, you know, just the ETF inflows, right? There's this feeling around Ethereum and headlines right now that I remember kind of like right after the ETF kind of launched for Bitcoin, right? If you want early 2024, there was just a lot of headlines saying, you know, this is it. This is, you know, this is now institutionalized. This is, you know, a lot of money's flowing here. These are the targets, et cetera, et cetera. Now, we did hear kind of spotty headlines about Ethereum a couple months back, you know, BlackRock picking up ETF inflows and stuff, but now it's starting to ramp up. Now it's starting to get to a point where you got like people like Tom Lee, and we've been bringing him up a lot because we respect his opinion. But like, you know, his company sold all their Bitcoin and they went into Ethereum, right? So that's a big deal to me. I feel like this is a precursor to, you know, a strong move coming up for Ethereum, whether it's you know, one of two strong moves, you know, one that coming up here very soon, and then a bit of a break, and then kind of that 6,500 to end the year or around there. No one's going to be perfect, but yeah, I mean, I'm bullish on Ethereum right now. I know that a lot of Bitcoin people are probably like, oh, we don't like Ethereum, etc. At the end of the day, you got to respect the price kind of action each cycle, and Ethereum just hasn't had that aggressive push up. You know, numbers don't lie, and so that's what we're focused on. We're not focused on feelings here. Yeah, of course we would pick Bitcoin over Ethereum any day in terms of security and the hardest asset in the industry, but there's an opportunity for Ethereum right now and to make money. And so at the end of the day, you gotta point that out and spotlight that.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, Ethereum is one of the really decentralized chains. I mean, honestly, I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are the only real decentralized chains. There will never be another rollback on Ethereum, right? That was the very early days of that when people talked crap on that. No, there won't be. At this point, it's too late. Back then, it was super early. I mean, there was probably 150 users on the chain when once that happened. It was like not even a year in to the creation of, you know, smart contracts, right? So to me, Ethereum is the most decentralized chain after Bitcoin, and I do think that it is following Bitcoin's path. So if you take a look at the charts together, right, Ethereum and Bitcoin, Ethereum is kind of where Bitcoin was last cycle, and I truly believe that we're going to see a run up this year, but it's really not going to start until November, December. I think we're going to see upward momentum, 3,000, 3,500, 38. But I think once Ethereum gets to its all-time high of 4,800, I think that is when we're going to see craziness start happening. I do think Ethereum gets to its all-time high this year. 6,500, I'm not crazy about that is this year, but I think next year does a 3x from its all-time high, which kind of brings it between 16,000 and 18,000 for the top in next May.
Yeah, which, if you were talking about Ethereum in 2022, 2023, I think most people had that 10,000 target. But, I do think the 15 to 18,000 target is realistic, especially with just the amount of institutions that are starting to focus on it, right? Whether they're utilizing Ethereum layer 2 or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, that tech stack has really gone viral, right, in terms of the institutions coming over. And so we'll see. And there's this motivation and this kind of fire that's in the foundation people from Ethereum as well. They've been kind of, the joke of the town in terms of the space for so long. And now you got people saying, hey, Ethereum Wells, let's put in this fund. Our whole objective is to get Ethereum to 10K. And you got people that have been, in a part of the foundation or some connection to the foundation talking about this. That makes me bullish too, because like they have a fire under them right now that says, hey, you guys are laughing at us. Remember who started DeFi?
Yeah. 100%, man. Moving along here, CoinMetrics Q2 report shows a 3.3 trillion crypto rebound, led by Bitcoin up 31%, ETH up 37%, and Solana up 22%. Let's show this chart here because this is a chart that actually came with that, and HOOD is up 116% this year. Coin is up 100%. So as crypto's growing, these are it's actually pulling up these companies with it, which is kind of like the point of CoinMetrics. Now they're saying, if you invested in any crypto stocks, you're up a lot, especially if it was Coin and Robinhood.
Yeah, Coin and Robinhood, and HOOD is already tokenized, right? Or no?
No, not yet.
I wouldn't be, but I would.
Though.
Yeah, exactly. And their CEO, you can tell when he talks, he's buying into crypto and DeFi. Like he's a part of this narrative. I wouldn't be shocked if he's like really pushing it on the tokenized side of things harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but going back to this specific point, yeah, I mean, look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie, right? Q2 was actually really solid for our industry in terms of the blue chips, right? The ones that I know, like the people that are hurting the most are the mid caps and some of these new micro caps that have potential. But you do have some sporadic ones like Hype that really thrived and stuff like that. But in terms of blue chips and the TradFi that is associated directly with crypto, I mean, you can't deny Q2's performance.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I didn't even realize Robinhood was up 116%. Like that's crazy.
For sure.
All right. Moving to the next part of this title today is Ego Death Capital. First off, it sounds like a rock band. But Ego Death Capital has closed a $100 million fund to support Bitcoin native software startups. With its freshly closed $100 million fund, Ego Capital has already backed a handful of pure play Bitcoin software venture, real apps built on the Bitcoin protocol. So when I say Bitcoin protocol, in my head, I immediately think ordinals, runes, alkanes, BRC20s, right? But no, these guys are actually investing in different stuff. So let's actually take a look at what exactly they're investing in. So the first one is Roxum. Roxum is Bitcoin capital markets, trade stocks, bonds, commodities, ETF, cryptos, FX with Bitcoin as a base currency. So you go to something like here. I'm not 100% sure what exactly it is, but it does seem like it is using the Bitcoin tech stack to kind of trade treasuries and stuff like that. But what do you think about this one first? Roxum and trading stocks and stuff using Bitcoin.
Yeah, I think we need to learn a little bit about, what tech stack they are using, right? Because we know that they would not just try to do something that is going to be a 10-minute transaction time wait, and then first getting your Bitcoin and then having to interact that way. So immediately, whenever I see something like TradFi-ish, and that's what the feeling I get from this, I immediately think that they're probably building with Lightning somehow, right? Or a similar type of tech stack or something like that. Because the experience still has to be solid. But this is a different group of money that's coming over, and it does seem TradFi, right? Style, but I don't know.
This to me is centralized. I don't think they're on chain at all with this. I think they're Bitcoin treasury grants like Strategy, Metaplanet,
Giants
and Nakamoto giants, dominated in Bitcoin. So it does seem like this is going to be very centralized what they're doing here, but they're actually using Bitcoin maybe to do stuff. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on. The next one is this one. It's Breeze Tech, bringing Bitcoin payments to every app. So what does that mean? Is realizing the future of Bitcoin by opening the world to self-custodial Lightning payments to apps and services. So they want to bring Lightning payments. It does seem like they're going to be using Lightning in different ways. Maybe they have a forked Lightning, very similar to what other projects are doing, but they want to bring Bitcoin payments to every app using Breeze. But this is another one of the companies Death Capital has thrown some of that money at.
Yeah. Again, they like you mentioned, they're using kind of integrating Lightning into it. The thing is, I really do hope they stay away from like a full centralized custodial approach, because we've seen what's happened in the past, and I'll tell you, they'll get a lot of pushback from that. Because of people, entities that custody people's Bitcoin, right? And
this
so
is self custody.
That one is. But you're kind of the previous one that you talked about,
this is centralized.
Is it though? Because I would imagine that they would be utilizing. So this ego death fund is investing in different parts of the Bitcoin ecosystem, because like it just doesn't make sense to me that they would just do a centralized one here and a kind of a decentralized approach here. It's weird. But nevertheless, getting back to that, people have been trying to do stuff with Lightning for so long. I just don't know, maybe there's a new approach to things. I don't know, man. But what do you think about using Lightning for stuff like this?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I already there's once in a while like I'll see something and it'll say, hey, you can buy this with Lightning, and then I'll go to my Cash App and I'll buy fresh Bitcoin, and then I'll use the Bitcoin Lightning network. It's super quick, super easy, right? I never had a problem ever using Lightning. I only used it maybe 15 times my whole life though. But I don't know. I mean, if I'm able to go to the store and buy stuff in Bitcoin using the Lightning Network, maybe through an app like Breeze, maybe it's like an app type of project, right? And this is all new stuff. This is stuff for you guys to kind of do your own research on. Like I said, this is brand new stuff that we just found. So
yeah, it's just, why hasn't it been adopted up until now?
Lightning Network?
Yeah, in terms of like mass adoption.
Bitcoin hasn't been mass adopted yet. Right? They're just buying it right now for the first time. This is the first cycle that Bitcoin is being bought up by
but not Lightning. Lightning has been around for a while, and it's been around since DeFi has been around. It's just
but these guys are just learning what Bitcoin is. They're going to learn what a layer 2 on top of Bitcoin is. Give them time. Right?
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm just saying Lightning has been competing for a while, and Ordinals even took like more volume away from Lightning for a while, like in 2023. So it's just, for me, look, $100 million is a lot of money, right? So for them to pour that into this, they must have seen some innovation within the Lightning network as well, and some stuff for them to pour that kind of money in there.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And the third one is Relay. Take control of your future, Swiss-made, Bitcoin-only, self-custody, trusted by over 8,000 happy users. It does seem like it's a wallet type of platform, Relay. Again, it's like I said, I'm very new to this one. About us, our mission, driven by the belief that Bitcoin is the best way to save money. We are raising a new generation of long-term investors by giving them simple, user-friendly, and secure access. Founded in 2020 by Julian Liger. Our app is designed to simple, intuitive, allowing anyone to buy and sell Bitcoin within minutes. Relay stands out of the cryptocurrency market with a unique approach to self-custody. So it does seem like it's a wallet type of thing, but it does allow you to buy the Bitcoin on there. And again, it does seem like it's a little centralized as well. I think all these companies that this Death Capital has put money into, it seems like they're all centralized in a sense.
Yeah. So kind of the same thing, you know, if it's something that I think is going to be mass like adopted or used, then I'll get excited about it. But I'm also, these are new, like you said, so you got
Yeah.
to give them some time but I'm also looking at this as like, what's the innovation? What's the trigger that's going to make people kind of in groves start to use these type of applications and stuff? And I want to do a more deeper dive myself into these projects that they're investing in, because there's a reason why they offloaded $100 million, and that's a lot of money, not just to
Well,
waste.
no. So this company, they raised 100 million to do this stuff. So these are the first three of a many, right? This isn't a full 100 million. Like, this
Yeah,
is
so
just the
they're gonna
first three.
so they're basically gonna be funding these projects, right?
Yeah, EO Capital has closed a $100 million fund to support Bitcoin and native software startups.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a fund that they're going to be giving $100 million throughout a whole bunch of projects, whole bunch of
Yeah.
startups.
So that's my point though, is that they're
Yeah,
willing to give out $100 million, which is a lot, right? And yeah, each of one of these might get a million here, 4 million or whatever. Still though, they have a reason why they raised that much money for this fund, and they believe in it. So yeah, just diving into it deeper is something I want to do, because as of right
yeah.
now, there's not anything that I heard of those top three that just wants me to pull me over there.
No, these projects aren't for us. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that, I think in the future when, we succeed on our goals, right? Maybe at that time you want to buy, like, are we really going to buy stocks with our Bitcoin? No. Are we really going to buy bonds with our? No, we're going to hold Bitcoin. So it's just one of those things where it's like, this stuff's not going to make sense to us, but what it's going to do is going to bring TradFi, who's holding Bitcoin, closer to DeFi, but
Giving us
I guess
their
more
money. No, I'm
CeFi.
just kidding.
Well, not giving us their money more, but more of the lines of using Bitcoin instead of just holding it like rocks, like the
Yeah.
maxis do,
Well,
right?
I
This,
mean, so you made a good point about the CeFi thing. I think that that's probably going to be a good part of the future of this industry too. The fact that, that people that are from TradFi or not native Web3 users are going to want the better UI, UX, even if some of it's centralized. But for us, like you stated before, you got to kind of prove your trust. Like, trust isn't given, it's
yeah,
earned type of situation.
100%. Stan with a super chat. Shout out to Stan. He says, in the channel's opinion, are the current BTC projects L2s or sidechains? Are the current BTC project L2s or sidechains? I watched the early video of Jeff from Merlin. He said an L2 was difficult to achieve because validation needs to happen. So right now, the only real layer 2 is Lightning. That is the only one that actually finalizes on Bitcoin, right? Because it's using Bitcoin layer channels, it's using actual, Satoshis and stuff like that. So all these other ones are considered side chains, right? But until we get stuff like BitVM or stuff like Arch VM to kind of do the ZK roll-ups on the Bitcoin, there is no actual layer 2. And Arch would actually argue that they're not a L2. They're actually just a protocol on top of Bitcoin that finalizes on Bitcoin. So it's a fine line, man. It really is. I love your opinion on this, Yago.
Yeah, you're right though. The Lightning's the only true L2, but because of the limitations of Bitcoin's tech stack, the way it works is you have to open and close channels, right? So it's not this free flowing of like smart contracts and computation and stuff. Computation won't ever live on Bitcoin in the way a smart contract does on Ethereum unless they upgrade the chain. And when I say computation living on Bitcoin, unless they upgrade the chain and they add the opcodes, right? Opcat, opctv might be able to, add some important covenants, but I don't even think with that you could do what you could do on Ethereum. With that being said, Shizzy and mostly me think that that's not going to happen, right, for a very long time, if it even does. So it is really hard. The one thing that could make it possible for chains like Merlin is what Shizzy said, BitVM. It seems like they're getting close to that, but you're still dealing with off-chain verification and indexers, and then verifying all the transactions on Bitcoin, you can do that. So the computation stuff happens off chain, but then some of the smart contracts do live on there, and the verification does obviously happen on Bitcoin. So we'll see if we could get there. I hope we can, because that could actually fully make Merlin and chains like that an actual technical L2. We'll see if it happens.
Yeah, I think they're all kind of waiting for that, right? They're all depending on companies like Citra, companies like Nubit, and these other companies that are building on like BitVM. Basically, they're taking Linus. What's his first name? Linus, the guy who created BitVM. Robin Linus's idea of BitVM. They're actually taking it and they're building upon that and building these actual layers of potential rolling up using ZK rollups to do this stuff. And then once they have that, they can potentially be that transition period for Merlin to the Bitcoin network, right? They want to be that. They want to be what Arbitrum is doing for Hood or Robinhood. They want to be what Optimism is doing for Base, right? They want to be that, and there's an area of opportunity there that they can actually do that. And there's a lot of chains building Bitcoin L2s or Bitcoin side chains that would use that technology to roll up those transactions and put them all in Bitcoin. Because the end of the day, the end of Bitcoin, really, 2141, and we won't be alive for that, but there will be no more Bitcoin coming online. There will be nothing for the miner. There'll be no reason, no incentive for the miners. So we got to find out ways to create fees, and side chains of Bitcoin L2 is going to be a big part of that, in my opinion, once we figure out how to use ZK roll-ups. And I think we will. Yeah. But I hope that answered your question there. So, all right. The next part of that is no, that's it. That's everything from the title there. So, awesome. Let's kind of jump into the rest of the news here. So, Trump says new CEA study found tariffs have zero impact on inflation and calls on Jerome Powell to cut interest rates immediately. We're going to find out next Tuesday, guys, if that is true or not. And then Trump says Congress should investigate Jerome Powell because he doesn't know why rates are still at 4%. What do you think about this? What do you think about him being so? I mean, it's every other day he's calling for the arrest or investigation of Jerome Powell.
He wants his legacy to be strong. I mean, there's other things that he's dealing with that, by the way. Yeah. But there was, I think Netanyahu talked about how he submitted Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, and then also with the rates, I think the CPI is going to come out good next week. You know what I mean? So it's like, because he wants his legacy to be so strong, and so he keeps pushing this out, and he's going to keep doing this until he cuts rates. I mean, it's just what's going to happen.
Yeah, and with last week's jobs number, I mean, I asked Marion the same thing. Marion, someone who's been following it for a long time. I was like, hey, do you think it's manipulated? He said yes, right? I feel like Trump's just like Happy Gilmore when he made a putt. He looks over and he goes, somebody learned how to putt. It's like Trump's like, somebody learned how to manipulate numbers. So we're going to see if he's good at it as the Biden administration, because we do know that they were amazing at it, to the point it had you questioning yourself, did they manipulate it, when it was pretty obvious. So we'll see if Trump can kind of get that way. But last thing on Trump here, 60% of Trump's net worth is now tied to crypto, according to Forbes. His real estate business is worth $2.2 billion, 40% of his net worth. But the crypto aspect of it, meaning all of his companies, because he has like 5 or 6 crypto companies that are ran by his kids, 3.3 billion of that is, which is 60% of his net worth. Pretty nuts. Trump's 60% all in.
Is that good or bad?
Real estate crypto. I don't know, dude. I actually like that. Real estate crypto 60-40. Could you imagine like people kind of watching what Trump's doing and just saying, I'm 60-40 stocks, stocks and bonds. Maybe I should do 60-40 real estate, which is an asset that goes up with inflation, right? If the money supply is inflating, real estate goes up. It's always considered a safe haven for cash. And then you have crypto, which we do know is as the money supply goes up, Bitcoin goes up, crypto goes up, Ethereum, right? So it's one of those things where Trump is all in on inflating the dollar right now. I mean, according to his portfolio.
Oh yeah, look, being 60% in crypto is a bit shocking. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like post Trump though, right? Because I mean, when I say that, obviously he's not going to be around forever. He's old, so it's kind of like him when he came into real estate. His father, Fred Trump, like had this kind of business that in the real estate industry and was thriving and stuff. And I feel like Trump did a good job of taking that over. And it can kind of happen here too, where he kind of passes it down to his kids. And then you got like the all-star Barron Trump. I think a lot of us think highly of him as being a smart young kid. Obviously he's young. So I think that 60% is probably going to be pretty safe, in the future. But you think about the thing that worries me is sometimes he's volatile in terms of how he acts, right, with his emotions. And I'm like, after his term, which is, he's still got 3 years left about. And
3.5
how is
years,
he?
yeah.
Yeah, is he going to be like kind of like retired mode and let his kids take over? I hope so, because I still think that like their empire will probably continually grow in crypto. What do you think?
Yeah, I think by the time Trump passes, I think there'll be 100% crypto. And I don't say that for the fact that they're going to sell down the real estate. I just think that crypto is going to 100x to the point where it's like 96%, right? Let's just say they have $2.2 billion in real estate, or even that point, 3.3 billion in real estate. I think their crypto assets, I mean, what they're building is so young. Like WilFi is a potential 100x, right? Maybe even 1,000x in the next 50 to 100 years, right? Yeah, exactly. So I think their crypto portfolio is going to outgrow the real estate to the point where they're just like, let's just dump what we have in real estate in the crypto because it's already 98. We might as well go to the other 2%. And I think the Trump kids are going to be the organization. The Trump organization is going to be $1 trillion company. It's going to be competing with some of the likes of Michael Saylor and those guys, because the other companies, the Apples, the Amazons, they're still not dipping their toe into Bitcoin yet in crypto, and they're going to be left behind if they don't decide to do something quick. And you're going to have companies like what the Trump organization is building, what MicroStrategy is building, even Metaplanet, they might actually outpace some of these overgrown giants who are not into innovation anymore.
Yeah, they definitely could. They definitely could. But yeah, in the future, they're going to continually grow it. They have all the relationships really rooted now too.
Yeah.
Like west to east, like they have all the great relationships with like BSC or BNB, Binance, whatever, Tron as well. And then they're building out the infrastructure here as we speak,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, could be really, really huge in the future. I think they will always keep some real estate just because that's like the the history of their family too. It might not be for like necessarily like huge business purposes, but just kind of having that in their family and stuff. But yeah, this looks like it's heading in one direction for them for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, you're right. Maybe they hold on to the Trump Tower, right? And then that's their real
Or
estate. 'Cause, I mean,
exotic locations or something. Just
well,
stuff like that.
most of the real estate is Trump Tower, right? I mean,
Manhattan.
that's Manhattan. I mean, I'm sure that's worth over $1 billion, right? So that has to be at least half of their. I mean, and Mar-a-Lago probably another $300-400 million estate, right? So I just think it's going to be their homes are going to be the only thing on the real estate aspect. But they're seeing the crypto, and once they see like it just going up, they're gonna move solely into no new money that they're creating is going to go into real estate. I think they're going to hold on what they have, like to your point, and then kind of.
But they could there's a couple comments in the chat too that like from some of our OGs, but like, and they're talking about this idea, and I agree. Yeah, they could be a big part of tokenizing real estate.
Yes.
That's that will be a huge business, I think, for revenue.
100%.
So they tokenize their real estate, but also offer services in that sector, one sector of crypto. Because the way their approach with crypto, by the way, right now is like kind of conquer. You know what I mean? Like conquer the entire industry. They're doing it from obviously not so much involvement except for name with the meme coin, but that was did amazingly high market cap. But then the WilFi and the relationship with the stable coins, they're trying to cover everything. Why not real estate? Digitize real estate as well.
And then at that point, they're 100% crypto, right? Because all their assets are in crypto wallets. So yeah, 100%. Great comments, guys. Great Stan and Cash Cats, man. Really appreciate it. But moving along here, Kraken and Backed are launching xStocks on BNB Chain, enabling BIP20 tokenized US stocks. So right now, we do know that Kraken Backed and xStocks, they are on Solana, but Kraken is actually helping them now move to BNB, the BIP20 standard. What do you think, man? Do you think the Asia now will come in and start buying stocks? Because a lot of them don't have access to it, right? Because of their geolocation and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure if that is true or not, but I think this is a big deal.
If you were to ask me if stocks would be tokenized on as BIP 20s in 2022, 2023, I'd be like, nah, probably not.
Yeah.
But now it kind of makes sense, right? And I actually am starting to see the stock market as more maybe in like 10 years, that's going to be like this universal stock market, right? Like like just not New York Stock Exchange, not, you know, they'll have those kind of brands, I think, still, but like, you know, Americans buying huge Chinese companies or Japanese companies that might not have been, you know, common practice previously, and vice versa, obviously, right? So this is changing the game. And then also Kraken, you know, with xStocks, right? This is the second environment that they are launching xStocks with. The first one was Solana. Now we're talking BNB Chain. Those are the two most volume chains this cycle so far when it comes to DeFi, and so this is pretty big for Kraken, man. I'm telling you, everywhere, dude. They're trying to be that centralized exchange. That's like, this is our cycle. We've been kind of held down too long.
And think about what they're doing. Like they got their hand in every cookie jar right now, right? For one reason, they're going public, right? The CEO, the team's about to get very rich, and why wouldn't you want to show these old investors, right? Hey, we're the new kids on the block. Take your money out of Coinbase, put it in us. We're gonna 100x. You've already made money with Coinbase. Now it's our turn. And I do feel like once they go public, they're gonna 10x out the gate, you know, right away, and maybe even 100x over the next 10 years.
I wouldn't be shocked, you know. But you're right. Yeah, exactly. This is their sales pitch too, right?
Yeah.
Look what we're doing. We're covering everything. Where they're going to be the hot centralized exchange. Mark my words. This cycle. I think we're going to start seeing commercials and stuff like that. Now, obviously, they need to keep their head on their shoulders and not go down the routes of previously.
Well, they don't have Alameda. They don't have an Alameda, so that's
yeah. I get that. I'm just saying in general. Just always look at FTX as that like lesson learned type of situation.
Well, like when we say FTX, so FTX didn't fail. Alameda stole money.
It's still part of their entity, though, their organization.
Two separate entities. So the one failed because the other one.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, they're both owned by Sam Bankman-Fried. No, I agree, but like if FTX didn't have Alameda, they'd still be around today.
Yeah, but if somebody didn't do this, like if Bernie Madoff didn't like have a Ponzi scheme, then he wouldn't be in jail. And then
that's not what I'm saying, though. I'm saying they're two separate businesses. If they didn't commingle, they would be would be fine. That's all.
Who could have prevented that? The FTX founder or the leader of FTX. Team?
Yeah, no, 100%. But I'm just saying, like, if it wasn't for the commingling, I'm just saying if Kraken, as long as they don't commingle, you know, I think they'll be fine.
But they have multiple different apps and dApps out there and stuff like that, you know. So I'm not saying that I'm not doing a comparison like 1-to-1 FTX to Kraken. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the only correlation is that like FTX last cycle was completely. I don't think you can disagree with me on this. They were in the spotlight. They were the hot centralized exchange up until that moment, and I feel like Kraken is going to come into that. I feel like they're going to be wherever they're the hot commodity type of thing.
I mean, 100%. Like as long as they're not taking these funds and building ink with them, right? They're not taking these funds and building this with it and that with them, right? I think they'll be safe. And that's the one thing about FTX. FTX had no plans to go public, right? They're not. Kraken's about to open the books, and I think that's a big deal, right? When you go public, you have to fully show everything, especially when you have collateral and all that stuff. And if you're doing stocks now, you're gonna have to show that you hold all the stock. They're gonna completely open the books right now, which I think is going to completely prevent them from ever doing anything that's misleading.
And the investors will make them do it, because a lot of these investors learned from last time. You know, like we got to go like 4, 5, 6 levels deep here.
Yep. And imagine if Tom Brady would have invested in Kraken instead of FTX, he'd probably still be a millionaire. But we'll see. No, I'm just kidding. But
he has a lot of money.
And you hear the rumor of who he's dating now? Oh man,
No,
but yeah, Sydney Sweeney, but craziness.
Oh wow,
yeah,
good for him.
Yeah, good for him for sure. Airline giant Emirates to accept Bitcoin and crypto payments in partnership with Crypto.com. So Emirates now, you're going to be able to go on an airplane. Let's just say you want to go to Dubai, or you want to go to China, or you want to go somewhere overseas, and you're using Emirates for whatever reason. You can now pay using Crypto.com. You will still have you have to have a Crypto.com account, but you'll be able to pay in Bitcoin to go on an airplane.
I'm not shocked. That whole region there is like really pro Bitcoin. Well, when I say region, Emirates is from the UAE, I believe.
Yeah, you're
And
100%,
and so they're very pro crypto, pro Bitcoin, and so this is how the U.S. should have been, but they are now. So they're at least getting there is what it seems like. But this is, and also not shocked with Crypto.com. Crypto.com's always tried to push the envelope. They were one of the first ones to really do big branding in the U.S., even though they weren't legally able to provide services here. They were advertising on the Staples Center, which became Crypto.com Center or whatever, and then also the UFC as well, right? So this is a move that I'm not shocked by, but I think Crypto.com keep pushing forward because they're probably a little underrated. I think by the public, they're a little bit of an underdog, even though they've been around for a long time. But I think they have an opportunity now that regulations are easing here, and they've been constantly trying to knock on the door over here. They'll probably find their way over here as well.
Yeah, 100%. I think this is just the beginning as well. I think American Airlines and they'll all be taking Bitcoin payments as well, right? Because they're like, hey, maybe our shareholders don't want us to buy Bitcoin with our reserves, but what if we take some Bitcoin as payment, right? And then we can decide if we want to hold that Bitcoin or sell it into cash. So it's another way of I mean, Tesla, the same thing. I think Tesla is going to open up Bitcoin transactions again, just for the fact that what Elon is going through with
American Party.
With the American Party saying, hey, maybe all of our companies take Bitcoin. I think we're about to see that. Well, I think that is another huge catalyst to why I think Bitcoin's going to 700K in the next 6 to 12 months. I think the big reason will be mass adoptions by people who want to get out of cash, meaning the Elon Musks of the world, right? Potentially even the Jeff Bezos sold $625 million Amazon stock yesterday. Where is he going to put that? He's going to hold it in cash that's inflating, or is he going to put that in hard assets? I'm curious what he's about to do. So
Bitcoin, he's putting it all in Bitcoin. But no, you have a great point, man. With the midterms coming up too in 2026, I think Elon strategically commented that on that, or replied to that comment saying, yeah, fiat's dead. Of course, we're gonna Bitcoin's gonna be a big narrative for us at the American Party, and he got to see firsthand in front row how strong the crypto industry was to kind of be able to push the winning party last cycle or last election in November. And so he knows that that's going to give him an edge if he's friendly. And what does that mean for X payments? What does that mean for everything that he wants to do? You know what I mean? So if Bitcoin's the hardest asset in that class that he knows can really help his party win, he's probably going to go all in on it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think everyone needs to pay attention to a lot of companies that are reporting, because every quarter they have to report to their shareholders what the numbers are, what they've been doing. We might see a few reports unexpectedly saying, hey, we bought Bitcoin last quarter. We were part of that run up. And Tesla could be one of those companies, right? I'm actually curious to see if they did or not. I'm going to be watching that pretty closely to see if Elon actually bought Bitcoin to add it, because they don't have to report it until they do it. So, all right. Well, they'll report it until the quarter. But let's jump into the crypto fear and greed here. So last week we were at a 46. Yesterday we were at a 50. We're a little higher than yesterday.
53, 52. 52
right there.
Okay,
got it.
Okay.
On the nose there. Looking at the price action, do you feel like we are still neutral? I want to be more positive than neutral, though, right? I feel like we're 58.
I feel like we're around there here, 52 to 54, because we didn't really start to cruise back up until later yesterday. And yesterday was a bit confusing. Still, Monday was the most confusing day, right? It was just constant swinging from 107.4, 108.5. And then yesterday was a little bit better, but it still was swinging back and forth. So I think whenever the score came out, it was probably more on the downside, and then we rose back up. But I'm okay wherever we are right now, because I think the next week or so, we'll probably see some aggressive price action. And I think that's whenever we get to maybe like 60 again.
I just feel like we're running out of time for this week. Right?
I know.
I mean, it's already Thursday.
We are, but
tomorrow, right? So it's like
next week's gonna be tricky, though. Next week's gonna be tricky because it's gonna be tricky because CPI. So do you get bullish this week to finish off heading into the weekend, or do you chop this entire week heading off into the weekend and then mess with people's heads in the beginning of next week up until CPI? We get a good CPI number, and then we take off. And technically, if you want to go back to your trend of the DXY in July, around July 15th, July 24th, that kind of matches up for that time frame.
Really
right?
does. Yeah.
When's the CPI official date?
Tuesday.
15th, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
100%. So we're talking about this time gap that, like, the Dixie always seems to drop really pretty aggressively, and Bitcoin starts to thrust up, right? We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, no, 100% here. So I don't know what's up with this chart. Okay, here you go. It wasn't zoomed out enough, but yeah, you're right, because this was July 17. We had the huge candle that broke below, and then you fast forward a little bit, same thing. July right there. That's the candle that broke the camel's back there and took us under that 95 every single time we did. So the 21st.
So if you do the 17th through like the 25th or something like that, or the 15th through the 25th or something, it just kind of starts within that range of, okay, we're expecting DXY to drop. Obviously it's not a guarantee or anything. We're not saying that. It's just quite funny that it seems to be rhyming with the last two cycles, mind you, and now we're coming up on this kind of similar time frame. We'll see if it could happen earlier. But I do think the CPI probably is going to help that happen.
No, I agree. If you take this right here, right, and pop it up over here, this means that we're potentially going to be in a bear market in May of 2027. The year of 2027 could be a bear market. And what could be happening is we might have a brand new set of people running government at that time after, Elon messes up the party system a little bit, and that might drive it the other way, because that's almost guaranteed to happen at this point. So 2027 could be a really tough year, but 2026 could be the year that we all expect. So we'll see.
Let's just say the American Party does succeed. This will be a crazy 10-year period, bro, because we had gone through a pandemic that we haven't seen since the Spanish flu in the early 1900s, and then a third party has never had success. But in my mind, I'm already this is going to happen because of the person behind it. You know what I mean? If it wasn't Elon, I would be okay, this third party is just another green party or another independent style thing. But I don't know, man. We'll see.
But I think we can all agree the one side of politics is very cultish. They're not coming to the American Party. The American Party is going to split the Republican Party. Right. There's
but
three parties, but one's going to be 51%.
I don't know, because there was a lot of people that weren't happy with the way things ended, and actually So I'll give you this.
That's true.
I think the people that did come over, those are the easy wins, I think, for the American Party. So the ones that left the left, right? They those are easy wins, I think, for the American Party. Trying to get anybody that's stuck over there now is probably going to be hard. I agree with that. But if anybody can do it, it's the guy that's talking about it.
Yeah, 100%. But let's jump into the Bitcoin price action and crypto bubbles, brought to you guys by Artura. Artura, these guys are building something awesome, guys. They're going to be on Botonics. I actually did 200 transactions on Botonics yesterday out of boredom, because I went over the A2100 Bitcoin, whatever the site is, and I had 200 wheel spins. Thanks to you guys, because I gave out 5 things in our members video, and you guys used them up, so it gave me an extra 20 spins for each use. So I had 200 spins, and I spun it, and I had about I want to say 1,500 sats from that, free sats. So what is that, $2? I don't even know, but hey, a win's a win, right? But my thing was getting transactions on Botonics, because I know they're going to do an airdrop of Bitcoin, and you guys will be part of that. But by using Artura, you're going to be able to double double airdrop farm, right? On that, so you'll be able to get the Artura, the ARA token, on top of Botonix's incentive, a Bitcoin. So I'm excited for that. I think everyone should be excited for that as well. Use Artura when it launches, guys. I think we're about a week away from that, so really excited for that. But not only will they be on Botonix, they're also going to be on Hemi. Hemi is backed by Binance. Binance pretty much will probably list them. Anything backed by Binance is usually listed pretty quickly. Not guaranteed, but it usually happens from past experiences. And you guys have an opportunity to use Hemi with Artura and potentially get massive amounts of airdrops. I'm excited. You should be too. Go over and check out Artura.finance.
Absolutely. It's going to be some exciting stuff as that team starts to go to mainnet. Yeah, just keep paying attention, guys, and make sure you're taking advantage of those opportunities on Botonix and eventually Hemi as well, using Artura. But let's jump into some price action here, starting with the hour chart. Before that, actually, help us out on the YouTube side. Smash that like, sub to the channel, turn your notifications on. You know the deal on the X side, guys. You guys are awesome. Everybody's awesome, but y'all are awesome because you always help share the space. So do it again for us. And same thing with the abstract community there. Let's jump into some price action, starting with the hour chart here. Let me try to blow this up a little bit here. So we've had a little bit of back and forth this morning, right? I mentioned that we got all the way up to 109,800 there, which looked really bullish, but that was pre-bell. And now we've seen a little bit of a pullback and things starting to settle in, right? You can see the Bollinger Bands tightening up a little bit. I mean, it didn't really open too much because yeah, it's just kind of wicked up there, right? But you can see right here on the stochastics, it looks like it's ready to kind of head back to the oversold territory. We'll see if it gets there. The hour chart on, or the MACD on the hour chart looks like it's going to be exhausting here on the MACD, but I don't really trust this too much, right? Just the reason why is because I'm looking at the 4 hour, I'm looking at the daily. They look pretty good, and we'll get into that in a second, but we'll see. If we obviously come down strong, we get down to 107, 800, 500, then this is probably close up, and then we might start to go into some sell pressure. I don't know. I just have this intuition. I know that's horrible to say, like when we're talking about price action, but going off of those bigger time frames, that's kind of giving me the confirmation as well. But let's see what is going on with the support and resistance at these levels, because this will probably give us more information and data here. So taking a look here at the, okay, we're going to go from data starting from 5 a.m. this morning on the hour chart at this price point here at right at 109,000, I should say. We got some pretty good support here. So we look pretty strong here. Right above that, it's about even with the slight edge to the resistance side. Same thing on the bottom here, but I like where we are right here. We're definitely pretty strong at this 109, kind of defending the 109,000 price point there. If you go up a little bit here, so we can easily bump up here. We're showing more support as well at the 109,200. And, you know, honestly, above that, we look pretty solid. It's pretty even all the way up until 109,400. And this is not even that lopsided, right? The first lopsided price point where the resistance kicks in is 109,500. So I think we look okay here. So maybe we open this back up on the hour. We'll see what happens. But second half of today, I do think we're probably a little bit chop. I think we work our way back up. That's just me. Don't just go off of this information. This is very high level, meaning that, you know, it's basic information. So you want to definitely do a deeper dive on your end. But taking a look at the 4 hour here. So 4 hour gives a little bit of confirmation of what I'm talking about here. You can see that the MACD looks pretty strong here. You can even see the MACD blue leading indicator line is still kind of pointing to the upside here. On the 4 hour chart, the RSI looks like it wants to head to overbought. So that's what's also kind of giving me that you know, feeling that we might chop with a little bit of a fake out kind of towards the down. But I think we end the day, or at least the next 4 to 6 hours, I think we work our way back up. We'll see. All right. Same thing over here. Pulling in data here for the 4 hour chart. This area right here, we're a little bit yeah, the resistance is a little bit stronger than support at the 109 for the 4 hour. But then we're showing some strong price points here, like 109, 150, 109, 260 right there. We're looking pretty strong. So I think we can work our way back up there. We'll see. If we do, that can definitely, you know, give us a good next day or two as well. We are halfway through the week, so we got a couple days left. All right, let's check out the daily here. The daily looks not horrible. It looked like it was going to exhaust completely, but we're still we're staying alive here, and I think that we'll continue to look that way. That's what I'm thinking here. The daily chart looks pretty strong. Not too much honestly to say here. We did dip down below the overbought territory, so we'll see kind of what happens if we maybe hang out here a little bit and try to rise back above it, the 80-point mark. But the daily looks okay. The weekly, let me pull this up real quick. All right, so the weekly to me is one that I would use quite a bit. Like I would say starting about a month and a half ago. And it's been faking out a lot to the downside. You can see right here, it would fake out to the downside, look like this was going to exhaust and like completely close out and start this downtrend, but that just we would always rebound and bounce back up. And I right now, yes, we do have a red candle because last week was our all-time high weekly close for Bitcoin. So that's why we're still at a red candle, even at 109 right now. But if we do end with the green candle, then obviously that's going to be the all-time high, right? So it really depends on, I think, how we end this week. And when I say this week, Sunday, obviously, right? But heading into the weekend, doesn't really matter too much as long as we don't like have a huge dump or anything like that. Fridays have been kind of hit or miss, right? For the most part, like it's been down, but Sunday is really where we'll be able to see what kind of price action we get to try to get that new weekly close for the all-time high for the weekly close. We could actually see an all-time high Sunday and then dump down on Monday heading for the CPI, and then maybe that's where things get crazy. We'll see. Weekly looks good to me. Going to the others chart here real quick, I'll hit on this on the weekly. Not too much probably to talk about here, honestly, because we are kind of like, again, I always say this every day, waiting for Bitcoin to make its move. But with Ethereum being in the headlines so much, and people, entities saying we're going all in with Ethereum, we could start to kind of Ethereum do its own thing. I would love to see that. I think people have been waiting on that, and if that happens, we'll see the response here as well. This will start to follow Ethereum, but this is everything besides Bitcoin in the top 10. I think we are in a good setup here. If Bitcoin does do what I think it's going to do for the rest of today, then we'll see this start to kind of work its way up and hopefully have a strong weekly close as well on Sunday. Crypto bubbles looks really good for the daily, right?
Wow.
Top 100. The only thing that's taking a hit are a couple meme coins here. You see Bonk down 10%. Probably because Bonk, I think, benefited a lot from that news of the Bonk launchpad and stuff like that, right? So this is a little skewed, in my opinion, in terms of what to think here, because a 10% drawdown, you're like, what happened? I think it was because they probably got bought up quite a bit earlier this week. Pengu
taken, yeah,
exactly. Pengu down 4.6%. So that one, I'm not too sure why that pulled back. But let's look at SPX up 8.7%. This is one of the stronger memes of the cycle on Solana here. And then let's take a look at a couple other dog with hat, 2.2% increase. Doge up 2.1%. Where is our guy?
I don't think Fartcoin can be that leading indicator anymore, because it's yesterday it was down 10%. So I don't think we can use it anymore.
Is it this guy?
Tomorrow is. I don't even know.
Oh, it is. It's
Tiny
down
little guy.
0.2%.
Yeah.
Has it lost its mojo? Has
I think it did.
I think it needs to get its stench back, man. It needs to get its stench back.
It's still over ability, though, right? I mean, that's the one thing. So.
For sure. A couple utility plays here. Radium up 11.6%. Radium, they are part of that, what is it called? Launch Lab, right? And I feel like with Pump Fund getting away, like just losing so much market share, maybe people are getting bullish on Radium. You see Crow up 2.1%. Not too shocking there. They were in a headline there. Hyperliquid up 3.6%. By the way, Hyperliquid, pretty big too. They I know we didn't hit it. Okay. SHIB up 2% here. Let's take a look at the top 200 tokens here. And if there's anything you want us to check out, talk about, let us know in the chat there. LA, this is the new mystery of the top 200. every day, not every day, but every couple days, there's a new mystery coin, right? That thrives.
Yeah.
Yeah. So LA is up 29.3%. AIXBT, haven't seen him in the top for a long time, at least gainer wise. So shout out to AIXBT, up 11% there.
I
What
haven't
else?
seen him on X either. He's been one of those
Not as
that
much, yeah.
I don't see him at all anymore. He's like not even in. I can't imagine that he's still up there in was it Mindshare?
Yeah, I don't know. It was crazy. It was like obviously like the talk of the town for so long. But one that I'm seeing up here, a little shocked about, is Ordi up 4.2%.
Oh
Wow.
wow!
Ordi enters the top 300. Okay. This is what threw me off. I was like, wait a second, man, Ordi's on fire. AI 16Z up 4.6%. I skipped the top 200. Let me go back there. Let's see. White. There's our mystery guy. White up 22% and M up 22.4%. I'm telling you, bananas. Oh my god, this one's cracking me up today. Bananas is up, but not just
How
bananas.
are these in the top 200?
Not just bananas. This is bananas 31 now. So bananas 31, that's a special bananas there. So bananas 31 is up 43.3%. This is hilarious, man. Oh, this could not be more degen. This is funny. ZBCN, our guy Courtney, right? And this is token. He's up 40%.
Yeah.
Shout out to Courtney Johnson. Where's our guy, Dog? I'm gonna finish it with Dog. Hopefully he's green. Come on, Dog. Dog Armor, you better make sure that you are green on this chart. Where am I at, Dog? Dog, yes, Dog is up 1%. A total of 1% in the green, but that is going to be that is going to be the Bitcoin and crypto price action. Yeah. Hopefully that was a little fun for you.
Yeah, man, we got some stuff for Dog a little later as well. So, but yeah, man. All right. I guess while we wait for our guests, because I forgot, we did move that up recently. I don't think Stan told his team. So, but all good. We can jump into some roll call here. Okay. So first is first on this channel, and it is Webdro. Congratulations, Webdro. You, my friend, are put on here again. Number 31 on the year. Congratulations. I feel like you're hitting home runs. I feel like I'm calculating home runs at this point. But you have 31 home runs on the year. Now 31 first places. And how do you get on this chart? You got to be the first comment on YouTube, and Webdro was. Congratulations, my friend. Blackie seems to be letting up a little bit, letting Webdro kind of get back in here. But there is a $700 Bitcoin frog that is available for the winner of this. So curious now who's going to win this. But it does look like Danny Boy, Lucky Luke, and Webdro are the only people that are really pushing forward with this. But you guys definitely want to make the list if you can. I promise you it'll be worth it. So Webdro is here. Shout out to Webdro. Of course, ASAP Benji is here. Chota is here. Shout out to Chota. He's just third. Rare Sats Dom is here, closer and closer. Rare Sats Dom says Merlin Lucky. What a Merlin and a rocket ship. Shout out to you, my friend. Moon Yacht Club is here. Shout out to Moon Yacht Club. And then Webdro again. Lucky Lukey again. Oh, Lucky Lukey for the first time. So congrats, Webdro. Shout out to you guys, man. Then we have Hydro Sapien is here. Shout out to you, my friend. GM. Let's go. On-Chain Revolution. Shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. Bitcoin Truth is here. Abstract is here. Chips and Dip. Vader time every single day, you guys, man. Really appreciate it. Spindrift is here. Wednesday already. Yes, sir. Chief Axel is here. Nighthawk says, GM, you studs. Saw you both on Spaces this morning. Yeah, man. We're in for that, helping our guys over at Sats Terminal with their space this morning. It was phenomenal. Definitely check that out if you guys haven't. We're going to have them on the show really soon. And then Stan again, man, really appreciate that super chat from earlier. Malam Yuri is here. Cash Cats is here with the coffee and the donuts and the dog. Go to the moon.
Let's go.
Cash Cats, man, getting us pumped this morning. Shout out to you, my friend. Stan says, thanks, guys. Any idea what chain key Bitcoin is? Why ICP is using it? So it's just their bridged in BTC, right? When they bridge in their Bitcoin, they're on the other side. The chain key, and I could be wrong with this, is just a wrap version, correct?
It pretty much is. I mean, you're locking up your BTC. They do destroy the chain key once you come back in over to Bitcoin.
Okay,
so that's the difference, is that they destroy it.
And it's non-custodial, right? So it's all decentralized.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we've been told, right? Yeah. And he also asked, is it a side chain also? I would say it's acting as a side chain. For Bitcoin, for sure. And it's probably the most used out of like the new approach, or the new it's the new chains that have come over and try to use it. You got like obviously the Bitcoin layer 2s, right? Like initially Merlin was probably the most used for the ordinals and stuff, but like lately ICP has been, you know, heavily used because of Odin though. I'll say that has really driven that. Other than Odin, there's not very much volume.
Yep. Pelpa is here. Shout out to Pelpa. Cash Cat says, concerning Trump real estate, I could see him eventually tokenizing. Yep. Read that already. Shout out to you, my friend. Stan says, if Trump, got that already. Adam says, idea for merch store, BRC 420 Xmas tree ornaments. I don't know if we can make I don't know who's making some Christmas tree. I'm gonna try. I don't know. I'll look into it. Paul, he says Alkanes is groundbreaking tech on the Bitcoin network. A pump fund style launchpad would make it easier for adoption. It's just tough on Bitcoin, right? So it's like, how are you going to promise when it hits the bonding curve that it immediately goes over to something like DotSwap, who doesn't even carry Alkanes yet, unless their AMM comes out soon. I don't know. It's tough. I don't know. Cash Cat says, got a class to go to work. See you guys tomorrow. Shout out to you, my friend. Thanks so much for hopping in today. Stan says, in the channel's opinion, how much data the current administration utilizing from Palantir, Neuralink, and Starlink? The administration has an uncanny with their financial moves. So the problem is, and Chamath Palihapitiya says this a lot, they're not using the data from these companies. They're using, so when they check inflation, they send someone to the same store once a month to check the prices on items. Isn't that nuts that we're still doing that in 2025? We're sending people.
It's regional too.
To stores, the same stores every month, and checking the prices on things.
Yeah, and then it's regional because like the Fed has different regions in the U.S. and then they take the average, I think, of all of them. Yeah, it's weird. It's like they're still using pen and paper to calculate. Really probably no.
Hey man. Shout out to Albert Amari. Thank you so much for being here today, man. Really appreciate you watching the show, man. That means so much to us. Thank you so much. But moving along here, we waiting for our guest stop in, or?
Yeah, let me see what's going on there.
I got
probably push it to probably go back to the old time frame.
Sounds good. All right, so we're gonna jump in some other stuff here. So where did we leave? Okay, here we go. Ripple to custody 500 million RLUSD with crypto stablecoin reserve BNY Mellon. So BNY Mellon will be their custodian. This is new, right? Because we do know that Circle uses do they use JP Morgan? I can't imagine. No, I think they custody themselves. I know same thing with Tether, they custody themselves, but RLUSD will be custodied by the great guys over at BNY Mellon, the oldest bank in the world, the bank that was actually created by Alexander Hamilton himself. So they're using BNY Mellon to custody $500 million.
They're probably going to help them get that banking license.
That is it, right? I mean, until they are a bank, right? But BNY Mellon, they could be something with BNY. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty big. Then Ripple, selects BNY Mellon, the custody stablecoin. Yep. Okay, we'll move along here. Okay, this is another one. I thought it was two different ones, but Ripple's RLU stablecoin surpassed 500 million in circulation, so they officially passed it, and they're letting BNY Mellon custody it. So I don't know why I have so many different tags there. I kept putting it in. All right, so this is something we talked about earlier. Phantom has launched Phantom Perps, offering 100+ markets with up to 40x leverage, powered by HyperliquidX. I think HyperliquidX is the umbrella for Hyperliquid, right? Is kind of what it is?
Honestly, I'm not sure. But it's whenever I looked at the demo, it seemed like basically you can do pretty much whatever you can do in the Perps platform just directly in your wallet. Gotcha. So they just kind of integrated it in there.
Yep. All right. Yeah. So when you use something like Phantom, right? Now I just go to my Phantom wallet and I can.
So I think it's coming. But I think it's coming because I went to Phantom, and it's I don't see it as an option yet. So I think that might be rolling out soon. Because when I went to I mean, I think it's really smart by both Phantom and Hyperliquid, right? Because now you're talking about being able to do everything. This is something that should have been in the works for the mindset of all crypto builders like years ago, but I'm just glad it's happening now. At least is that UI is the focus, right? And this is completely a UI play that makes sense for both entities, so both will benefit from this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and think about it as a user. Well, think about Agent Hustle now, right? On Solana now technically can just adopt that feature, right, and start using HyperliquidX as well.
That was the first thing I thought about. I was just like, wow, the conditional part is going to be a lot easier for Agent Hustle to kind of really trade on people's behalf with leverage. Now, I don't know if the Hustle team is going to add that right away. I think it's probably going to take some time because you're talking about leverage, right? So, but for me, someone that likes to dabble in that world, this is exciting, right? Because now you get to see what that looks like from an AI assistance perspective, right?
I mean, so it's just probably an API that you can probably get from Phantom, right, and put into Hustle. So I can't imagine that it's any different than what they're already doing with, hey, if this happens, do this. If this happens, do that. It's the same thing as, hey, take a 5x leverage play if you hear the word crypto come out of Trump's mouth, right? I mean, what's the difference, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it gets down to that, dude, that's game changing for sure. Big time.
Talk about away from keyboard trading. I mean, you're not even gonna have to be around to take leverage on
and
stuff.
And
like
eventually,
that, so.
If it gets to like voice command, that's the Hustle. Go ahead and put this in right away before it jumps up. Right. So.
I mean, dude, that's what we're promised, right, from AI. I mean, I think we've seen video of that. So, but we'll see. So, moving along here, this is huge. Tether holds an 8 billion gold stockpile in a secret Swiss vault. I like that part. Secret Swiss vault with nearly 80 tons, making it one of the largest holders outside of banks and nation states. Insanity. Tether, dude, not only are they the leading stablecoin, not only are they one of the leading holders of Bitcoin, not only are they one of the leading holders of real estate, but they also have $8 billion stockpile. So I looked into this a little bit. That figure represents the assets held as collateral backing UST. This is not Tether's profits. It isn't Tether's gold. This is the people who hold USDT. It's their backing, which is crazy. This is another reason why they don't want to do. Circle's not allowed to do this. Yeah, so you can only get into liquid assets. That's a part of the Genius Act. So this is another reason why Tether, I think, is pushing more overseas and in Asia, because they want to stockpile their Tether against gold and stuff like that, and Bitcoin, right? So it's pretty big.
Yeah. So this is amazing amazing in terms of statistics, right?
Yeah.
Because they're probably, I don't know. I would imagine maybe like a top 50 holder of gold or whatever. Maybe I don't know what that number is, but outside of what banks and nation states, and then what other category are they like a top 15 holder of?
Bitcoin.
What else? Bonds.
Oh yeah, bonds.
So
I forgot about the bonds, dude.
Like
and real estate.
So like they're impenetrable in my opinion. Like they're formidable. Like how can you destruct this like huge gauntlet? You know what I mean? Like seriously, like, you know what I mean? Like look at all this stuff now. Do they go out and prove it and all this stuff? I think that's the next step. It's almost kind of like they're just like, I don't need to prove anything. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think USDT is going anywhere, anytime, anywhere. They're staying put in this industry. Growing.
I just thought of a great crypto Twitter shirt. You cannot penetrate the impenetratable, and then have a picture of Tether. We'll move along. Sorry about that. Metaplanet plans to leverage its growing Bitcoin treasury to acquire cash-generating businesses, including a potential digital bank in Japan. So Metaplanet will pledge Bitcoin as collateral to borrow cash. And can you guess what they're going to do with that cash?
They're going to buy more Bitcoin.
All right, dude. Now we're headed into risky territory now, right? MicroStrategy's already done it, right? But I think we all think that MicroStrategy is really smart. I'm not saying Metaplanet isn't, but I mean, we're getting to a point now where this could be how these big banks take down these companies. They just keep dumping the price of Bitcoin to liquidation hunt these guys. Eventually, I'm not saying this year, I'm not saying next year, but in 2027, this could be another catalyst of a bear market.
Yeah, let's think about it in 2027.
No, I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
but it'd be smart to kind of keep watching this stuff and find out where the liquidation prices are.
And for our audience, they're gonna keep up to date with it because we're gonna be. I guarantee you, once it gets close to the bear market, we're gonna be like, they keep doing it. They keep doing it. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, the audience is gonna be well informed. I'm very sure, and we will obviously as well.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, so my big two, I got two big things that'll happen in the bear market: Hyperliquid going under, and Metaplanet and MicroStrategy getting hunted. I'm not saying they're gonna fall, but I think they're gonna get hunted. I think people are gonna come at them because I think they're gonna over leverage themselves, right? I think greed outruns most companies, right? And I think MicroStrategy is really smart, but he has one goal in mind: that's get as much Bitcoin as possible. But I think his time horizon is going to mess him up a little bit. I think he's so worried about getting all the Bitcoin now that he might get to a point where he gets close to his liquidation price. Not saying they're going to hit it, but get close to it enough to scare the markets to a certain point. All right, so move along here. SharpLink now holds 205 and 634,600 ETH and earned 322 Ethereum in staking since launching its treasury in June. So in 1 month, they've earned 332 Ethereum, adding to their treasury, dude. And then they're restaking that 322 to earn 6% on that. So they're not only earning 6%, they're what is it? What is that called? When they just keep auto like basically auto investing it and auto compounding it, right? So potentially, if you auto compound,
I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. They're gonna auto compound basically all this Ethereum, dude. They're gonna make so much money. SharpLink, they're a gaming company. I might like invest in them, honestly. Like this is gonna be a company that's going to 10x.
You know what's funny is that, like, if you remember last cycle, whenever things got really degen, you would go into these Ponzi's. Like, we can call them that because that's what a lot of them were, whether it was a tune fork or whatever. But a lot of people would do the compound interest thing. But now you can do that with something that isn't a Ponzi. Well, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to collapse. We know that. And it's with ETH. So these big guys are coming in and doing that. And you remember whenever like people were really doing that, is like that's whenever like the cycle was like it's like heating up. So we'll see what happens. This is just the start of this stuff starting to happen with these big entities, at least, like saying, hey, we're just rolling those earnings back in. We're gonna stake those and earn off of that. Because I mean, compound interest is a strong principle, like, concept, right? Like it works, man. It's just like, as long as the underlying asset is still strong and can hold, man, you can make a lot.
Yeah, every 100 ETH is 6 ETH, right? So think about that. So when they compound interest that, they're putting 300 more in, so they're getting 18 more ETH at the end of the year. You do that by 12. I mean, it's compounding these Ethereum. They're going to have over 1 million Ethereum in probably, if they compound interest, in probably 4 years. And they, that's without buying more. I'm really bullish on these guys, man. All right, so the next thing here is NASDAQ listed GameSquare to launch $100 million Ethereum treasury. So another guy's coming on now. They're seeing what SharpLink is doing. They're like, it's finally clicking. It's finally clicking for a lot of these guys. And it's being like, okay, wait, I can earn 6% yield from safely. There's no other safe play. I mean, you're locking into a smart contract that will only get messed up as if the chain goes under. The chain gets 51% attacked, right? And you're locking this up and then you have say in the governance by doing this as well. I mean, dude, these companies are finally understanding the power of staking. I know a lot of people are against the proof of stake, but I'm bullish on it. I'm bullish shit on it right now.
Well, Ethereum, at least, right? And the reason why
even Solana too.
Well, yeah, Solana, but like but these entities are going in Ethereum this way, And this is why, like, I'm bullish on Ethereum's opportunity, like, for the price to go up, because we've seen what happens whenever compound interest is popular. Like, we've seen what happens in the cycle for that specific token, and this ain't some just random, you know, degen token. This is Ethereum. So the more and more that we see this start, you know, happen, the more that they, like, 6%, that's the no-brainer. We're gonna buy a lot. You know, that will create a supply and demand situation eventually. If enough entities buy, what, $100 million, if they keep doing that, dude, I'm just saying. So the 6,500 could be even short by the end of the year. I know that's a high target. I'm just saying. I'm not even sure if it hits 6,500, but who knows if it goes over that. And then next year, I think we all pretty much in the same boat, that it's probably going to get close to 10K, if not more, you know, and so we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, Bitcoin last cycle, I mean, 2 cycles ago hit 19,000, right? And I think Ethereum could do that exact same thing. You know, it seems to be 2 cycles behind Bitcoin. So next cycle, Ethereum could hit 69,000. In the following cycle, it could hit, who knows, wherever Bitcoin goes this year. So, or next year. I'm really excited to kind of see what I'm bullish on this dude. And they're it's just great that they're finally waking up and seeing this and seeing the opportunity that lies with staking. And I mean, there's other companies, Soul Strategy, doing the same exact thing with Solana. Right, so there's companies doing with Solana as well. So it's gonna be pretty big. All right, next thing here. So I don't know if you've seen it, but C2 Blockchain Incorporated. Do you see what their new banner? So this is a publicly traded company on the stock market, CBLO, who had changed their banner now to Bridging Dog with public markets. The asset is dog. The ticker is CBLO. I mean, they only own about 20 grand worth of dog, which is kind of funny. But changing their background here, I don't know. What do you think about this, man? It's pretty insane.
Yeah, they obviously are, you know, laying their bets here with the community as well. They have a stock symbol, CBLO, so that's crazy. I wonder if they're trying to get the dog community to kind of buy into their stock as well.
They are. Look,
That's go ahead.
We're leveraging our look. Our new X banner says it all. Bridging dog with public market. The asset is dog, but the ticker is CBLO. This is just the beginning. Stay tuned. But I think they're about to go hard in the dog. I think the first couple were kind of tests, and that sounds really weird, but the first couple were just tests to make sure that they're able to custodian it, right? Because it's not easy to custodian dog. You can't put it into a hardware wallet yet, right? I mean, there's ways you can go around doing it, but it's not as easy as it is to custody Bitcoin. It could be
dangerous,
It could be. So you want to actually go small, make sure you can custody it, make sure your team is good at custodying it, and then maybe you go in. But what happens if they go in and they buy $1 million of dog? I mean, you go to Kraken and you buy $1 million of dog, you're gonna shoot up the price like a lot, like probably 20%. There's not a lot of liquidity on Kraken yet. So, and I doubt these guys are going online. They haven't really started buying until Kraken listed it. So they're obviously buying on Kraken. And now they have an opportunity to kind of say, I wonder if they're being advised by someone on the Kraken team to do this as well. Like, hey, you guys want to move up? Guys want to get followers? Start talking about this dog thing.
They wouldn't be lying though.
No, they're not.
Because like dog has been that really, really, really strong social viral meme token this year, the past 7 months, right? So I think today was the first time in a long time that like and this is just right live, that dog isn't in the top 10 of positive sentiment. It's still in the positive sentiment section, but you know, you look year to date, dog is number three year to date. Who's number one? This is actually a shocker. XRP, positive sentiment.
Well, I don't think that's a shocker, man. You see the BNY Mellon custodian their RLUSD. That's huge, man. I mean, that's the biggest bank in the world.
Who's number two?
Biggest by bank wise?
No. In the positive sentiment for the year to date, do you think?
My guess?
If XRP is number one, who do you think is number two?
Bitcoin.
Yep. And then number three is dog. That's my point.
Damn.
So yes, you know, their strategy is smart because you know, and that's the thing too. If you're listening to your dog army, we got to get the numbers back up. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, you guys are number 3 for the year. I get it. You get your flowers, but for the daily, come on, man. No, I'm just messing around, but it's crazy.
Hey, I'm doing my part. I'm doing 2 dog tweets a day at this point, right? So I mean, come on, guys. If we all do 2 dog tweets a day, all 10,000 or 90,000 holders, I mean, it could be awesome. But where do you think their follower count is in 3 months from now? Let's just say dog is successful, and they see this as an opportunity. Do you think you get over 10,000 followers in the next like couple months?
I think if they continually do what they're doing, but they're gonna have to show a little bit more, put a little bit more skin in the game. You know, yeah. What I'm saying is like they did announce kind of like they're doing a live dog reserve. Did you know that? That's something that they're about to put up.
Oh, you're going to be able to see?
Yeah,
like
so they're creating that right now. So if they continue that and they do continue the engagement, yeah, I think they increase their following 5 to 10x.
That is so cool. I didn't know about that. That's really cool. Yeah, really excited for that for sure. All right. The last thing here I have is pump token sale on Bybit starts July 2nd to July 12th. So yesterday we had Gate.io basically come out and say, hey, we're going to be doing the launch for Pump. It'll be this week. And then it went away. It was almost like they were baiting these exchanges to kind of see which ones they're going to allow to do their pre-sale. And they officially have chosen Bybit. And you know what's funny? I was thinking, how much do you think these exchanges had to pay for this? Because the exchange is going to make a lot of money, right? From launching the they can charge a little bit of fee on top of buying this, but Bybit seems to have won. So not only is Pump Fund making $600 million on the pre-sale, they're potentially probably getting like 30-40 million from Bybit to do the launch.
Yeah. I wonder what the bidding process looked like for that. Because you're right. They got, I guess they get to be the, servicer for this launch or whatever, but I don't know. Again, I do think this sells out, but I just, if you're looking
where's it coming from? Where's $600 million coming from?
I mean, I think there's definitely strategy involved with some of that, and then the rest is the public, right? So they have to try to, really, like they're in bad sentiment right now, and they have been in bad sentiment jail since like 4 months ago. I feel like they have never been on the good sentiment side since I've checked the last two months, because I've really consistently only been checking this for like a month and a half, 2 months. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I guess they're going to sell out because of who they are and how big their entity has become and how much money they've made and all this BS. But I don't know. Their brand
what I just realized?
What?
July 12th is Saturday. No liquidity in the markets.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to matter too much for like this. You know what I mean? I think this is like a pre-planned thing. Like they're giving the dates out. They're giving all these things out, all this information out. And
why Saturday?
I don't know. I don't know why Saturday, but I don't think it matters for something like this. I think Saturday matters more for like, trading blue chips and
I mean,
stuff
Trump
like
launched on a Friday night when everything was closed. Right?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
and it was a Saturday where everyone was trying to get Solana off exchanges, and Coinbase ran out.
but Trump didn't sell on a centralized exchange, right? It was all
no, it went right to. But that's the thing is like people are going to immediately go to Radium once this is live.
Yeah,
because like I don't have access to Bybit because I'm an American citizen. But like if I want to pump, I'd have to go. I have to wait for someone to put an LP up, and people are going to want to put the LP up because they want the fees.
They probably that's what they're probably doing is they're probably doing a fee split for Bybit. Like whenever you purchase on there, the pump probably gets a split of the fee or whatever.
Well, I think it's a bidding process. I think that's why I think Gate thought they won, and I think Bybit came in with a bigger chunk of cash. That's why they pulled the thing off. So I think Gate.io thought it was a done deal. Posted the post they posted yesterday, and then Bybit came in with more money. And that's why Bybit got it. But I think Pump Fund will also put an LP. It's stupid not to, right? Because then they have their own exchange that's going to push you to the Pump exchange, right? And be able to buy it there. So when you buy it through one of these, Jupiter or something, right? They're aggregators, right? They're going to aggregate to their swap, so they're going to earn a fee on top of the fee that you earn from the exchange itself or the DEX itself. So I don't know, man. I think this is going to ruin crypto this weekend.
Oh no, I don't think it. But I don't think it hurts like Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think if anything, it's just going to take it from like the other like mid caps and stuff like that. That's what I think. If it does, I think it takes it from there. I don't know.
I think this market's about to get wrecked.
We'll see. We'll see. The Trump one kind of came out of nowhere though. This has been pre-planned.
It did. Yeah, no, you're right. So people will have Solana on the side waiting to pump it. What if they don't though? Like, what if they're just like they're seeing this token run from 0.004 and it's going to 0.008? It runs to $8 billion market cap or runs to 12, and they're like all like, "Oh, I gotta get in, and they're dumping ETH and they're dumping Solana, and the big boys aren't around to buy it up on the ETF side of things." And I don't know. I think this. I'm not saying this is gonna be bad for next week. I'm just saying it could be a shitty weekend with a lot of down pressure.
Yeah, but you have to remember when Trump launched, it was out of left field. Everybody was scrambling. They were selling stuff down left and right. Dude, honestly, it was almost it was close to like a weak black swan. Because I was looking at my profile, I was like, what's happening? Literally, there was tokens that I was like, these tokens should not be affected by this Trump token. But they were, and but again, left field, not planned, people scrambling versus pre-planned. We know the date. It's on Saturday. I think we don't see a crazy crash or anything like that. And in fact, I even think I think maybe some mid caps right now, Friday leading in, maybe get hit, but I don't think it's going to be close to what the Trump token did in terms of affect the market in a negative way.
I don't think so either, but I still think it brings down pressure to the point of maybe
has to come from somewhere, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Let's take a look at some runes here. Let's give a quick refresh, share my screen here. So go to runes. See, I don't like looking at the runes here because I feel like the data is skewed because you can't get the badged. Okay, so let's go to the 1 day. We got dog down. Dog flat on the day at 0. Mim up 0.7, sitting at $40 million market cap. Lobo with a little bit of a bounce back, sitting at 11.4 million, up 1% on the day. Billy down 2% on the day at 11.9. It's a battle right now between Lobo and Billy. My question for you is: does Lobo catch up to Billy and maybe pass it again?
Oh, it's tough. Like if you look at community, Billy has a stronger community. If you look at probably like capital behind it, Lobo probably, they actually have like a group of people that are kind of a VC, like a fund style thing. So that's where they can unload bullets. That's the thing about Lobo. Right, so they can unload bullets, and there's some whales that are into Billy and stuff as well, but it's just different. It's harder, right? So I do encourage all the communities that don't have that backing behind it with a small VC group or whatever to really just be active on X, because that's what you need people to learn about what you believe in. And if you don't believe in it, I get it, whatever. But if you do believe in it, you got to put it out there. The blueprint's out of how to be successful here.
Yeah, you ain't lying about that, man. Not at all. Let's jump to our next segment here. So weekly, we have a weekly segment here with the guys from Sats Terminal. Sats Terminal, they're building something truly special in my eyes. They're building an aggregator DEX on the Bitcoin blockchain. Why is an aggregator important? Let's just say you have you have some Bitcoin and you want to get dog, but you don't want to go to DotSwap. You don't want to go to Magic Eden. You don't want to go to Runes DEX. But you want to make sure that you get the best price. Using something like Sats Terminal will always get you the best price because they're aggregating the best price for you. They are doing something very similar to what they do on Ethereum. And, that when they try to find you the best price, you definitely want to go to Sats Terminal. Even if you don't buy there, check there first, just to make sure that you're getting the best price through them and kind of make sure that, maybe, you kind of see what they have there. They have everything. They have Alkanes as well. Let's just say you want to get into some of these Alkane. I know the guys, Bunzi and Hasbanger just launched something this morning. I didn't get a chance to look at it. But if you're going to buy any Alkanes, guys, make sure you guys head over to Sats Terminal, because you don't know if there's a better price on Unisat. You don't know if there's a better price on ID Club, but their aggregator will make sure that you get the best price. Without further ado, let's bring up Cyclops. Cyclops, welcome to OnChain Revolution. Thanks so much for being here, sir.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Going well. Trying to keep up with this market back and forth, but it seems like we might have caught some momentum here, and Bitcoin might head us into the weekend pretty strong. But how's everything going with you guys? We know that you had a Spaces this morning around stables. Like how's everything going with Sats Terminal?
We're good. Everything just keeps moving so fast, including like the regulation, because I think there's like a hearing right now on like crypto regulation. So it's and then like there's new Alkanes that come out. Like when we had the stablecoin space, I had like there were projects that like I hadn't even heard of that were on stage, and so it's just like everything just feels like it's going like a million miles a second, like that. And then like I didn't even know Bitcoin was recovering in price.
That's the thing, is that like it's been jumping around back and forth, and it's hard to keep up with. We do the price action every day, so it does feel like there's some resilience with Bitcoin as of late. Every time there's a negative headline, it might get like gut punched, but it holds its own, right? And so, but you guys are focused on taking care of what the community is asking for and stuff like that, right? But like, Alkanes has been a hot topic, and we've noticed that you guys have been really involved with the Alkanes community. What's that been like from a CMO perspective? Do you feel like Alkanes community is strong? Are you guys getting good reception from them, or what does that look like?
Oh yeah, they're totally love a lot of the folks. They're like total degens, and like that's kind of like they're just kind of fun. Like so you just have fun with the projects. Like they. There are folks like Musashi who's like really passionate about it. Like the names of all the tokens are like really funny because they're gas based. So like I don't know. I just think it's like kind of a fun place to degen around. Like good sense of humor.
Yeah, man. Yeah, what's up, Rashabh? How you doing, bud?
Doing good, thank you. I'm like outdoors today. I was like walking to it, but then found a coffee shop and then stopped there to like have an acai bowl and then take this call from like outdoors.
Nice.
But yeah, it doesn't help that they're cleaning the streets in San Francisco today. Never seen them do that before. The first day,
I was like that.
Outside to work, they decided to clean the streets.
Yeah, I thought that was an espresso machine. I was like, man, that's a strong espresso machine there. No, but what about you? Being the CTO side of things, how has building with Alkanes been? Has it been easier? Has it been kind of a thorn in your side? What has it been like?
It's so far we've only treated it like a runes alternative, right? So like everything we've built has been very similar to what we built on runes, and I've talked about this in the show previously as well, where like most of our Alkane stack is like super similar to everything we built for runes. However, the promise of Alkanes is supposed to be more than just fungible tokens. And I've seen interesting experiments done by other people. I know there was something where people were clocking in on chain using Alkanes contracts. I haven't explored that enough. And on that front, it has been a little bit more of like, let's wait and watch what's coming up, what's interesting, and then maybe explore that and build something more in using capabilities beyond just the tokens. But so far, it has been we've just been treating them as like a fungible standard that we've integrated and like enabled trading for, similar to runes.
Yeah, there's rumors that their AMM is going to go live potentially this week or next. Have they given you the keys to that? Have you been testing that at all? Gotcha.
No, not yet. We're waiting for them. Sorry, you're saying?
I don't know why. I'm hearing guys like Hatbanger and stuff. They came on the show and he was like, "Hey, I've tested it. I don't know. You guys aren't getting the keys because you guys are going to be aggregating that pretty early on, right? When you guys get a chance."
Yeah. Sometimes these protocols they make us wait. Don't know why. Like even Unisat, it's like when they integrated Arcanes, they made us wait for like a few weeks before they gave us API. And it makes no sense. I mean, we're driving volume. Like it takes us 2 days to integrate, and we're driving volume for them from like day zero. So like it's in their best interest to give us access sooner because that means we can get them volume and like users sooner. But
Absolutely.
yeah, so they operate on their own schedule right now. Whenever I guess they're comfortable, I think they're going through audits or something, and when they're done, they will they give us access, and then we'll work on integrating that process as well. Like with Unisat, I think we made a post about this. They gave us the docs on like I think a random Wednesday at like 4 p.m. my time or 5 p.m. my time, and then like the same day we had it like live on our on our beta, like the internal testing one, and then like 2 days later, because we let it sit for 2 days in internal beta, it was live for everybody. But yeah, there was like literally few hours after they gave us access. But so yeah, I think more protocols should be more friendly with us and give us access sooner. Yeah.
It's like help me help you, right? Like help us,
Yes.
like help you guys. Like why won't you let us
Yeah.
help you? Like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure,
It's
for sure. Go ahead.
It's interesting you say that because like this is I sent Stam like a very long rant last night. Like I was just so fucking done with development last night. Like I was like I don't want to be in crypto anymore. Like I'm fucking done because we work with on some of our other products. We work with like a couple of providers. I don't want to name them, but they're really big companies. They raise like akin to like hundreds of millions in funding, huge developer relationship teams, but no developer has a good relationship. Like, what are you doing with all this? What are these people doing? Why are your DevRels not reading your own developer docs? And it became such a point of frustration for me yesterday because, like, we have 3 different partners we are using for a project, and all 3 of them were just ghosting me for like 4 days, and they just don't reply. And I'm like, look, guys, when this goes live, we're going to be paying each of you like at least $500 to $600 a month base and usage on top of that. So these are not cheap services. This is not cheap infrastructure. And yet, y'all don't want to give me support when we're trying to actually integrate and take this live. So that just doesn't make sense to me why these companies wouldn't prioritize when they are dev
So
tool
the
companies having better developer relationship management. Sorry,
Can
thanks
I
for
ask a
listening.
question?
Thanks for
aren't
listening to
related.
that talk.
Can I ask a question? Are there like, because I'm just not in the coding community. Are there like divas within it, and do they kind of like like it's like a bunch of models together where they're like
Power moves.
power moves, and they're like kind of jealous of each other? Does
I
that
think all
happen?
of them. I don't know if it's jealousy, but they're all viewers for sure. And I always end up. So the part where I'll take responsibility is somehow we always end up being the edge case because a lot of these providers are not used to working with like a Bitcoin tech company. So when I ask them some of these questions, they're like, oh, like they don't know it off the top of their head because it's not like a general support query. But if they do read their own docs, they would be able to answer it because very often I end up sending them the answer later. I'm like, hey, you guys can respond, but by the way, this is how you solve it, and this is where it references it in your docs. And so to that degree, I think, yeah, I'm the diva then. Yeah. I think say that out loud, I realize I'm the diva because I make them
And
feel
then
bad about it later on.
and then there's another question because like I came from like film, right? And so in the editing world, there was a huge problem because so few people actually knew how to edit, at least in that time, like the early days of Final Cut. So people would go around getting jobs and they don't know how to edit. Does that happen? And like they're just playing all these games to try to hide that fact. Does that happen in development? Because I imagine like that being the case too, especially at big companies.
100%, 100%. These fucking white coders, man, they show up, they get these jobs in these companies using cheating tools, and then like, and then like they don't know how to write any code. Like, bro, I don't know. Like, it's very frustrating. I'm just ranting, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of those, and I think the number is increasing. Like the level of incompetence is increasing, so it's getting harder to find good talent that actually knows what they're doing. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
So
I
it's the
think that
same thing
actually
now.
happens.
They think it's
I think
become easiest. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that happens in all industries, by the
Yeah.
way. People can fake it until they don't make it, maybe. And, you know, like there's that saying, fake it till you make it, but sometimes you got to put up or shut up, right? But my question to Rashabh is that why you dropped that TEDx video yesterday? You're like, do you know who I am? Like, I saw that TEDx video, dude. I didn't realize you were on stage for that. That's awesome.
Like I used to actually, so before I started college, I used to give a lot of talks. Like that was one of them. I think I was the keynote speaker at many conferences back then because I was very active in the robotics community, and I would get invited to. Nice.
Yeah, there he is. Robotics,
Yeah.
dude. Love it.
Yeah. So I was like
You had more hair
very
then.
much into like. Sorry.
You had more hair then.
I mean, he has a lot of hair now.
Yeah,
No,
I
what
just
are you
tried
talking
to.
about?
It was a bad joke.
Yeah, so yeah, so I used to be very
Wow.
active in robotics. So I would like speak in many conferences. TEDx was like one of them, and then especially with like I think y'all have seen on the show before the humanoid as well that I had, and with that whole robot traveled to like many countries speaking. And then when I started college, it kind of went quiet. I wasn't taking any of those on anymore for a while, and yeah, I don't know. Just I was frustrated, so I was like, let me post something to like feel something.
Yeah, you're like, you know who I
Yeah.
am, where I have been, but that's crazy. Before college, dude, like,
Yeah.
did you have a childhood? Did you play with toys? I guess they were robots,
robots, bro.
Yeah. It's like the
Yeah.
whole thing there. Well,
Yeah, I
that's
think since
awesome.
I've been like 14, I've had like people. I've only had friends that are like much older to me, so yeah,
Gotcha.
not much of a childhood there.
Gotcha. That's awesome though that you have that background, and it makes sense, you know, that you're such a good developer because you just like to challenge yourself and stuff like that. But let's get into a little bit about what's going on with Sats Terminal. So obviously the Amber is forever. That's been a big campaign for you guys. Ricky, which is the raccoon, which is an awesome character. But let's talk about the Amber points stuff, Cyclops, if you don't mind. How has that been? Are people taking advantage of it? Do you feel like it's been like underwhelming in terms of people taking advantage, or do you feel like people are really jumping in?
So we have a user base for it. I think we want to be more community driven, so we're trying to push it more towards being community driven, and we're doing. But you know, the Amber points are happening. We have other plans for it that are coming up that we can't fully say, but it's a work in progress that's going to be happening. We've gotten a good amount of usage. If I look at the dashboard,
Well,
do you have
I
the
know
latest
my
one?
rank keeps dropping every day. I'm like, God, I lost 10 ranks from yesterday.
Oh, really? Yeah, like so far there has been about, am I reading this? About 60 million Amber points awarded.
Nice. Okay, that seems like a lot, but I don't know what really to kind of look that against,
Yeah.
I guess. But I mean, it sounds like a big number. Okay, so like, what would be the reason why someone shouldn't miss out on getting Amber points? I guess that would be a good question to go with.
I don't want to have a foot in my mouth, so Rashabh, do you want to? There's certain words I can't say. So Rashabh, do you want to take that over?
Yeah, I mean, it's an incentive program, and as has been the case with every Web3 project, incentive programs are tied with incentives. So if you're
Pretty
going to be
straightforward.
trading and doing these activities on chain, yeah,
Like right
so
now
if
they're
you're going
having
to
a.
be trading and
Right now there's a
Sorry.
hearing on regulation, so we don't want to get in trouble.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
yeah,
But you definitely want
no,
to
but
earn
yeah,
Amber
there's going to be
points.
like incentives down the line. Yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
I think there might be a little delay there. That's my fault.
Yeah.
All right. So the Amber, we went over that, and for the audience that's listening in, there's definitely ways that you can learn to kind of earn as much Amber as possible. You make sure that you guys follow the Sats Terminal X account. There's that Amber is Forever campaign, a list on that shows you kind of you know, the multipliers and stuff like that. But now there's one big thing that, you know, we were given permission to be able to kind of tease about, and that is the borrow side. So Rashabh, could you talk a little bit about the borrow feature and what that's going to look like possibly for in the future?
Yeah, for sure. This is like a soft tease, and then we'll be putting out more information as as we get closer to being live. But given the solid price momentum that Bitcoin's had, and despite everything going on in the macro, it's like held its price. Selling Bitcoin is probably not a good idea. Never is. But sometimes you still want to speculate. You want to speculate in other assets while still being able to hold your Bitcoin. And to do so, one of the common instruments is being able to take loans against your Bitcoin. That is, you put down your Bitcoin as collateral, get cash. This could be This could actually also just be because you have expenses you want to take care of without liquidating your position. Just with all the options that are there right now, you're going to be paying a lot, like 10, 11, 12, 14%, with like 2-3% or more just in origination, which is like when you go to get the loan, they'll charge you like a 3% flat fee, and then you pay interest. Ends up being really expensive, cost prohibitive for some people. And we've been working on a much better solution, a solution that's going to be significantly cheaper, less than half the cost when it comes to interest rates, and less than 1/10 in origination fee, and all while retaining self custody. So with a lot of these products, you have to give up custody of your coins entirely. And in our case, you wouldn't have to give up, at least in the process, wouldn't have to go to a custodian, so you wouldn't have to go through KYC and do all the paperwork to like get your loan. We're just trying to build the best experience for getting a loan against your Bitcoin, so you're able to hedge your position, get some liquidity, unlock cash, use it to speculate, trade, generate yield, whatever. That's what the borrow product's going to be. Yeah. The underlying mechanics of how we'll make that possible, very, very, very soon, that'll be live, and people will be able to interact with it.
So is this an aggregator? Are you guys aggregating these loans?
Yeah, to some extent, yes, that's a part of it. We're able to like aggregate all on-chain lending pools to like find the cheapest loan source for you, liquidity source for you. Yeah. And then like
Gotcha. So that's
automatically
already-
balance the position, all of that. Yeah.
So I can basically just use your front end for all that stuff. If I want to come back in, I want to add liquidity, I want to add money back into the loan to make sure that I get back to center if the price of the drop. I can do that all through that terminal.
Yes. In fact, you'll get like, you can subscribe to emails, you can subscribe to message notifications, so that, you know, like, wouldn't it be great if you were about to get margin call, someone literally gave you a call?
That would be
stuff
awesome.
like that.
hey, what's up, guy?
Yeah. It's like the opposite of like a debt collector. It's like, hey, I want to help you. Not, well, I guess a
Yeah.
debt collector could be helping you, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And
basically, I mean, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, so, you know, the worst part about some of these margin protocols is they liquidate you. You guys aren't liquidating us, right? You're just making sure that the provider is not liquidating the user. That's why you guys are sending emails.
We'll help you prevent liquidation as much as possible. But at the same time, if like Bitcoin's falling and like you're not paying back or not adding collateral, like there's nothing we or anybody could do. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
We're adult.
we
We're
can't
adult
take the
here.
counterparty risk. Yeah.
Exactly.
But one of the promises of the platform is to make it as unlikely as possible, and we're gonna start with just notifications, and then later work out like more interesting mechanisms to prevent at least not losing that. You know, when you get liquidated on Avi or Morpho, there's like a 5 to 10% liquidation premium, and I think there's ways to prevent that. We're going to be working on building that into the platform, so that you don't have to, worry about losing that additional 5 to 10% in case you're getting liquidated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Like just having an email saying you're close to liquidation and stuff like that is huge. Okay, so I got a different question here, and it's more for Cyclops, and it's about the marketing aspect. How would you describe Sats Terminal to the 374 people listening in or whatever? Would you say Sats Terminal is the 1 inch of Bitcoin, or how? Because that's a tough job. You know, Sats Terminal is going to be doing a lot of stuff now too. So how would you market it?
I would say that we are your personal shopper for a token. So we will like, instead of having to go around and shop for dog, and I'm tying this to dog because the comments are hilarious. Somebody's making fun of us for promoting dog coins, and I want to promote it even more.
Yeah.
But like,
Albert.
as a 40-year-old
Shout it,
guy, like I want to fail more. So like if you want to get dog, and you should buy dog as much as you can because it's on Kraken and it's the best coin, and Leo's like a visionary. You should just use Sats Terminal, because if you go through all the pages to try to buy it because there's so much volume, you're gonna have a hard time, because even if you find the best price, you're gonna get front run. So like if you just use us, you just know that you're gonna get the best price.
Yeah. I think it's a great way to market as well. And thank you for doing that, because I was really holding some stuff in on those comments there.
And buy dog. Buy more dog.
Yeah.
Buy dog. It is the best
dog.
coin ever.
We love dog.
I only buy dog coins.
Yeah, for sure.
Will I be able to borrow against my dog coins?
That was a question. Yeah. Maybe Rashabh.
Yeah, Rashabh.
Because you said Bitcoin, but do you guys have an open mind to possibly borrow against like strong Bitcoin alts?
That, I mean, to quite an extent, it feels like Liquidium has solved the problem, right?
Yeah.
I think they recently announced like instant loans on Runes as well, and like we don't want to compete with them at all. Like we like those guys, we want to work with them, and if in the future there is a possibility for cross-chain loan against strong meme coins like dog, so you can have more liquidity, sure, like we have an open mind to it. Like if it helps people and it's something people want and there's a market for it, then we're like, we're in the business of helping people, so we'll make something work.
Could you actually aggregate from Liquidium potentially if somebody just wanted to use your site as a one and all place, where I mean potentially you guys
I'm pretty sure
that's for them?
I'm pretty sure that's in the plans, right?
Yeah, especially for Bitcoin loans, because they're also launching a Bitcoin lending product, and like we've been speaking to them quite a lot about like adding that as a route when it goes live. And in the meantime, we want to launch ours and sort out distribution as well. So it like, we're able to get them volume when they go live as well.
Awesome. But guys, it's been absolutely awesome. Thank you guys so much for your time. We'd love to give you guys the stage one last time to kind of talk to the audience. We'll start with you, Rashabh. Any last words?
Like Sats Terminal is where you go with your Bitcoin. Whatever you want to do with it, even if you want to buy more of it, we'll enable that. We'll make sure you do it at the best rates possible. And apart from that, buy more dog. Yeah. From that dog coin.
It's funny too, because it's like the Michael Sarah strategy, right? You do not sell your Bitcoin, but you take out a loan on it, right? And you can do that through Sats Terminal.
That's true. In fact, I think Metaplanet just announced yesterday that they're going to be borrowing against your Bitcoin portfolio to buy off like private companies, and it's an interesting strategy. At the end of the day, they'll get Bitcoin, borrow cash, and then use that cash to buy up private companies to speculate with it, basically.
Yeah. If they're revenue generating companies too, that just can kind of be the flywheel too. That goes back into buying more Bitcoin, buying more, and taking more risk on these companies. So great point. Cyclops, what about you? Finish it off here. I know you're gonna go at that.
Buy as much dog as you can using Sats Terminal to get the best price. Set up a dollar cost average way to buy more dog, and then just buy dog and hold dog. Don't ever sell your dog. And
none of this is financial advice, Albert, okay?
yeah. And just buy more dog and tell everyone to buy dog, including your parents and your kids. and they will all think you're awesome.
Yes. I love
With
it.
Sats Terminal.
What's that soda? Amazing, guys. You guys knocked out the park again. I can't wait for next week. Thank you guys for your time.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Take it
See
easy.
you guys. Absolutely awesome as always, man. Really appreciate those guys. And I put the wrong one up. There we go. But yeah, that's our show for you guys, man. 1 hour and 57 minutes in. We really appreciate you guys always hanging out with us. 381 people means so much. And that's all. It's just on YouTube and X. Not to mention everyone on Twitch, Rumble, Abstract, Kick, and Spotify later. Appreciate you guys.
Yep. And just to let you guys know, we do work hard, by the way. We work 60-hour weeks minimum, and we feed our families. But anyways, with that being said, we appreciate each and every one of you guys, you know, because without you guys, we couldn't do this 100,000%. You guys are the energy that fuels this as well. And if you could check out our partners, we'd greatly appreciate it, as they also support us to allow us to do this full time, as it is a real job. But Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the Bitcoin ecosystem. We just went over it with that team. They are amazing. This is like getting an early, or like utilizing an early tool from the ETH side, right? Back in the day, like we compare them to Oneish because they're the main aggregator over there, but they're doing more. I feel like they're going to be doing more. They're going to be aggregating, you know, borrowing and lending and stuff like that as well. So head over to satsterminal.com. You can swap for Dog, you can swap for $1 Billion Cat, you can swap for all the popular runes, but you can also swap for Alkanes, as they have support there. And remember, every time you swap or do a transaction, you're going to earn Amber points. And I will say it, that Amber points are going to be very valuable. At least for me, my perspective, that's how I look at it. So head over to satsterminal.com. Make sure you follow those guys on X, and you know, stay up to date with the show from us and their X account for their borrow feature coming soon. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace of the Bitcoin ecosystem. All you need is a Bitcoin wallet, some Bitcoin, and 6 Bitcoin blocks, and you can start placing bets in their Blitz markets. Their Blitz markets is a fun approach to kind of perps, right? You get a continuous countdown clock of 10 minutes to pick Bitcoin, BNB, or Solana that you think is going to go either up or down. An additional 10 minutes to see if you're right or wrong. There's going to be new features that you can create your own markets and earn 1.5% on the total volume there, and refer a friend that you can own a total of 1% of the total volume on that. Head over to betbtc.win today. And then Emblem Vault is your interoperability layer for Bitcoin Layer 1 ordinals and NFTs. You're going to be able to jump these from Bitcoin to Ethereum. You can do it right now and take a loan out of your Taproot Wizards on the Gandhi platform, which is the largest lending and borrowing on Ethereum. But you're going to be able to do that with other collections as well. And you're going to be able to do it in other environments like Base, Arbitrum, Merlin possibly, and then Solana. Speaking of Solana, you can utilize their AI agent Hustle, which will guide you through the jungles of Solana. So Hustle is kind of like your trading assistant over there. You can ask questions like, hey, Hustle, give me a couple of 5x safe plays, and Hustle will do just that. Bring back some token options for you and let you know why he thinks that these are good options. I've used it, had success, but you got to kind of use Hustle as a tool instead of like a magic genie, right? And then but they're going to be adding conditional trading as well to this platform, and that's going to be a game changer. And then eventually when they add the Bitcoin tech stack, you're going to be able to vault your ordinals as well with Hustle. But that's not all. They also have their TGE Bitcoin rune that they're going to be launching in September/October, around that time frame of this year. And you can participate in a pre-sale right now on OpenSea if you search Emblem Founder Vaults. And you can purchase one of these NFTs. And what it will do is once they get to the TGE date, they'll give you guys instructions on how to get access to a Bitcoin wallet is actually locked in these vaults, and you'll get access to that and get the runes in that wallet and have access to that. It's really exciting stuff, a different, unique approach. Head over to emblem.vision to learn about all those products in that product suite. And then Artura.finance. These guys have been building nonstop. They are preparing their platform for mainnet on Botonics any day now. They just want to give you guys the best experience possible. Botonics is a spider chain, the Bitcoin layer 2. And you can actually earn on Botonics by utilizing the platform. They're going to be doing a give back to early adopters relating to Bitcoin, and then Artura has XP that you can earn that way. But you're going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin fungibles on Artura, like Doggo to the Moon, the Runes, and possibly Ordi and Sats as well. But you're going to be able to trade the popular tokens outside the ecosystem, XRP, Tau, Ethereum, etc. If you're not into trading, you can just add to their liquidity vaults, but you're going to be able to earn XP by doing any transactions on their platform. And they're going to be launching on Hemi Bitcoin Layer 2 backed by Binance shortly after the Botonics launch. Head over to Artura.finance, join their Discord, and become a part of their community. And then Fluid Tokens is the UTXO wizard devs of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They started on Cardano. They're still building there, but they also are building on Bitcoin Layer 1. They were the first to offer staking vaults on Bitcoin Layer 1 to retail users, especially runes. They had 2 seasons of Dog Go to the Moon staking, and they're going to have their 3rd season, but it's going to be a mix of meta protocols. You're going to be able to stake alkanes and earn Dog Go to the Moon, and vice versa, stake Dog and earn certain alkanes. If you want a staking vault set up for your community, head over to their Discord, ask them how to get set up. But they also have an airdrop tool for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You can airdrop runes or alkanes. Very simple. There's 2 options. You can upload a CSV file with all the addresses pre-populated on there, or you do it manually one by one. It's really simple, cost efficient. We have tested these this platform or this product itself. And then on the Cardano side, for the Cardano community, you can actually help participate in the Aquarium platform by adding liquidity to use other tokens other than ADA for gas over there, and you'll earn Babel fees by doing so. Head over to fluidtokens.com, dive into both sides, Cardano and Bitcoin, to learn more there. And then Tokyo Wallet, the multi-chain smart wallet, they are building for the best UI UX for all their users. If you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store. If you have an Android, head over to Google Play. Download it. They support Cardano and Bitcoin currently. You can swap for runes on the Bitcoin side, as they partnered with SAS Terminal to make that possible directly in their wallet. And then on the Cardano side, they partnered with Dex Hunter to make it possible to swap for Cardano tokens. But they will be offering support to Sui soon. So if you're a part of the Sui ecosystem, you're going to be able to utilize their wallet. Again, they're building for the best UI UX. So if you download this and give us some feedback that you want some changes updated to it, we'll give the feedback to the team. You can also find us on here, as there's a little alpha section with different YouTube alpha callers and channels and stuff like that. Head over to Tokyo.io and learn more there. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin's strength with the power of AI, starting off with their Wizard AI, which is their 0.3 version. And with this version, you can swap, you can do staking, and it'll guide you through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. But their new version is coming out soon. It's the version 0.4. And with that version, you can actually ask about assets outside of Merlin. You can ask about assets on Solana, BNB, other ecosystems as well. Like, who's the top 5 whales on Solana? It'll give you what tokens they're holding, stuff like that. It's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be very useful. But if you're looking to help secure the chain, as well as they are a proof of stake, as of now, you can help. There's three different options. There's Bitcoin. You can earn 8 to 21% for staking your Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin there. And then there's also, that's locked up till September 30th, by the way, when you stake the Bitcoin there. And then you have 2 options for the Merlin Chain token, the flexible, which is day to day, and you can earn 15% there, but you can claim your rewards each and every day. It does take 7 days when you withdraw that, though, for the process of withdrawal. Just remember that. And then there's the 6-month lockup period called the bonded period, and you earn 45% APR. And also you can claim your rewards day to day there. Head over to merlinchain.io to learn more there. And don't forget about our integrated partners in Jungle AI, formerly Foxy AI, building the metaverse on Bitcoin, called the Bitverse, and their first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker. And they've added support to Bitcoin Derby as well. They are also working on a game launchpad that anybody that wants to launch a game can launch on their launchpad. They have custom capabilities that kind of form into their templates. And then Ordinal Hive is the Ordinal aggregator marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. We are going to have the founder, Fonzie, which is an Ordinal OG, Bitcoin ecosystem OG. He will be on with us tomorrow. Should be really exciting. He's going to do some live demos. Make sure you catch that. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, man. It means so much.
Yep. Great job, man, as always. And if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io, some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. Every single week we've put out an article, so you guys can go back and kind of read through the articles and kind of see exactly where we were during that time. You guys will have just as much knowledge as us by just going through our articles. And if you know someone who's new, man, send them our website. Have them catch up very quickly using the articles. Brand new article just dropped, Kraken, the breakout sex of 2025. Man, I can't say that out loud without cringing. But why Kraken is the breakout centralized exchange of 2025 bull cycle. Check that out there, guys. And NordVPN. Check out NordVPN, $3.39 a month. Use our links, guys, because you do not want to go to a VPN and pay that $11.59. Lock it in for 2 years because you only get one shot at it, right? So if you lock it in for a month, you get $3.39 for that month, but then you have to come back and you have to pay the $11 the following month. But lock it in for 2 years, you get that exact price. I think I paid like $66 or something like that for the entire 2 years. So I locked it in, set it, forget it, be done with it, guys. So definitely check that out there. And if you guys need merch for this event, or I mean for any event out there, you definitely want to be a part of this. So make sure you got her shirts, hats, t-shirts, and so much more, guys. Really appreciate you guys just taking a look at seeing what we have here. And if there's anything you want to add, I don't know if we can add Christmas ornaments, but we can try. But definitely check out t-shirts, hats, jacket, and so much more. Really appreciate you guys taking a look. And remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain, 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 OnChain. OnChain revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear tracks. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain revolution.